Hey everyone, Ashley Huber here with Beyond Fit Family. Today I want to talk to you about a topic of overcoming anxiety and depression. Right now, with the COVID virus and everyone on quarantine, I think that there's probably a lot more people struggling with this issue more than ever. And I want to share with you some perspective on that to hopefully help you overcome it and not allow it to define who you are, because it is not who you are. It is just something that you are feeling. Really, the best thing you can do is understand that there is a mind body connection. Your thoughts, your mind control the things that happen in your body, especially true with emotions. And some of those things that we have in our mind are paradigms. They are things that we have learned as children that we didn't even realize we were learning. We just saw other people doing them and just accepted it as truth, and then that's the norm and that's how we handle things. And also, life events have happened to us. But that does not mean that that's how you have to continue. You can change that. And these events don't define you. Viktor Frankl wrote this book, Man's Search for Meaning. Incredible book. I encourage anyone to read it. But he went through some incredibly horrible events in his life. He was a Jew. He was in the German concentration camps, and he was in some of the worst camps. He lost everything. But his whole story is that although the Germans in those camps and the military took away everything, he lost his wife, he lost his kids, he lost his clothes, everything. I mean, he was really stripped of everything. The one thing they couldn't take away was his mind and his thoughts and how he reacted to all that. So when you're battling these negative emotions, have that same perspective. That the things that are happening to you, they don't control you. So you have a choice. You can think good or you can think bad. When something good comes in, be grateful for it. When something bad comes in, then just change that story, rewrite it. The whole process of how anxiety develops in our body is really because there's something negative that happens in our life. Right now, that might be fear of the virus and what it can do. Maybe it's because I don't have a job right now, or how are we going to provide for our family, or how can I work and take care of my kids, and being scared of yourselves or your family members getting really sick. There's a lot of worry and fear going on. When you start getting that worry and fear, you start picturing in your mind this image of the event that you're fearing, right? Which then creates this emotion in you. You get scared. You start to worry and doubt things even more. And when you tie those images to an emotion, it gets ingrained into your subconscious mind, which then results in anxiety. But then we're suppressing down that anxiety and we become depressed. That is the cycle of anxiety and depression. It all starts from a negative event and how we think about that negative event. There is a Sigmund Freud theory that talks about the subconscious mind, and he compares it, it's like an iceberg. What you see above the water, of the iceberg is going to be your conscious mind. It's what you see, it's what you control easily, and it's a very small part. The iceberg is way bigger underneath the water, right? And that's your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is the part that's under the water, the iceberg under the water, and it's what's below the surface. It's your memories, your feelings, your habits, and it controls your emotions. And so this subconscious part of your mind, the part that's below the surface, it can be changed. It can be influenced by your life experiences. The problem becomes when we are not aware of this cycle. If you've never studied this stuff, if you've never heard this stuff, you have no clue it's happening because it's been happening your whole life and you've just accepted it as natural, normal, and you've seen other people doing it, so you've just accepted it. But once you start becoming aware of this cycle, That is called study, that is called growth. And when you become aware of it, you can actually change the cycle and change the process. So, to change from the state of a negative event happens in your life, you start to worry about it, then you create these images in your mind, that whole cycle. To change that, you want to study and understand that it's happening so that you can recognize that. And then you want to start to change and transition to a positive state. So, in a positive state, when this negative event happens, I want you to take that negative event, I want you to rewrite it. I want you to visualize in your mind an image that is exactly opposite of that negative event. So if you're worried about, oh my gosh, because of what's happening this year, we have lost jobs or our income is down, how are we going to make it? I want you to rewrite that story. Great, because of this virus, we made some changes in our business, and it actually turned out that we were making more money and more abundant than what we were doing before. So had this never happened, we would not have had this opportunity. Okay, that's an example. Instead of worrying about the health or whatever, just say, our family, picture in your mind your family being safe and responsible, doing the hand washing, working together, still living life, right? Just being responsible with that, and how everyone feels good and healthy and vibrant. Picture that. Picture that in your mind and allow that image to create emotion in your body. So instead of feeling the fear, the worry, and the doubt, now you have these happy images. And what are you feeling? You're feeling happy, confident, calm, excited. I don't know. Whatever that emotion is, make it a positive one to tie to that positive image, tie it in. And then that will start to rewire your neural pathways in your subconscious mind. It's going to teach you something new, and it's going to change all the things down. So now instead of the anxiety, you're starting to feel happy. You're starting to feel safe. You're starting to feel that faith. There is a quote that I love. Both fear and faith demand we believe in something we cannot see. Where do these things come from? We create these images on our mind. They're not in front of us at the moment. We are just kind of projecting what we think will hold in the future. So if you could choose a fearful image and a fearful emotion, or you could choose an image of faith and hope, which one would you want to choose? What would you want in your life? Choose the faith option, because that is just going to catapult you into this whole new state of living, that your life is just going to be amazing. And it's a hard process. This is not easy to do. It's a very simple process, but when it comes to teaching yourself to do it, you have to remind yourself daily, multiple times a day. I mean, I know how many times a day I have a negative thought. There's a lot of them, right? But it's squishing those out and replacing them with the thoughts that are full of faith. So, when you think about this, anxiety is not something you were born with. It is something you learned. No baby comes out of the womb worried about what other people think about them or worried about if they're going to be able to pay the bills. A baby comes out into this world thinking that they will be loved and provided for. They have the faith, right? We have learned these things, and you can learn a new habit as well. So visualize, create the image of yourself, change your words. You are not your emotions. Instead of saying, I am anxious, I am depressed, I am fearful, say, I am feeling a little anxious about this. I am feeling, or I feel depressed. You are not defined by those. You may be feeling them, and that is totally okay. Recognize it, stop the cycle, go back to that first negative event, replace it with the positive. Rewrite your story. Wherever you are at, whatever level you are at in the spectrum, whether it's down here and I'm thinking negative thoughts all the time, or I'm kind of in the middle, or I'm super positive, just continue to rewrite your story to what you want to see, what you want to experience. I hope this is helpful, And go out there and pick one thing today that you're going to stop telling yourself that's negative, and what are you going to replace it with? Have a great day, and we'll see you soon.